Good morning, Flosstube. Pam, stitching between the lines. It is Tuesday, January 15th. It is, again, overcast. Should be no surprise. We had sun yesterday, so I guess that was our allotment for January. Anyway, today will be a little bit of a quick video, but I'm here to show you some things. Some fun things that I went and picked up this morning. Ooh, look. You can see I have it in my hand. One of them. Anyway, I won't be doing progress updates or anything like that. I'll save that until next week maybe. Well, yeah, probably next week. Probably the end of next week, because that'll be where everything will be cut off. That'll stay home while I go to Florida. So it's a good time to show. And then I can show what I'm taking with me to Florida to work on. So anyway, I drove to my second nearest local needlework shop. I really don't frequent the other one. The one that's closest. We won't go there. Anyway, this is where I get all my framing done anyway, and she does such a fabulous job. I've been back and forth there quite a few times lately. So anyway, I took Let Freedom Ring in December, and then a week or two ago I took this one, my Christmas list by Silver Creek Samplers. Took that one in. Let Freedom Ring took a wee bit longer because she needed to wait for supplies to come in. Usually she only has things for a week or so. She keeps quite an inventory of frames. So anyway, here is Silver Creek Samplers, my Christmas list, which was so much fun to stitch. I don't know the fabric, a neutral piece of linen that came with it. I got it as a either birthday or Christmas gift at the end of 2017. And on a whim, one day I just needed something to start or was tired of whatever I was working on, and I just picked it up, and honestly, it was such a pleasure to stitch. I kind of dragged it out. I explained why it had to be a 2019 finish. It came out in 2017. And when I was stitching this, I didn't really pay attention to what was going to show itself in the inside, that it was going to be numbers. I thought it was going to be a pattern on the Christmas wrapping paper. And I stitched away, and I may have even started to put in this when I discovered I had missed a row. So I was a row short. So I took out and I put back in. Then I started stitching, and I realized it said 2017. And honestly, I was not taking it out again to adapt it to, say, 2018. So I ended up making it like a 9. So 2019. So I kind of had to hold off on actually finishing it. I had just left a few little oddities down here to do so that it could really, hold it off, keep it true to the date that was stitched in it. And, this is one of my pet peeves. I've said this every piece that has the dates as a component of the stitching. Designers, there needs to be an alternative, because first of all, it came out towards the end of 2017, I believe. Unless you're whipping it right up, you're not going to have that date. Isn't going to be a completion date in 2017. I'm sure there's a few people who manage that, but so annoying. So darn annoying. I'm not looking at the picture constantly to see what's the next thing going to look like. I'm looking at the pattern, and in the pattern, I don't think it really stood out that this was a date. So anyway, I did the best I could do with what I had and how many times I stitched that silly little present. So it is just beautiful, lovely. It's funny, I always go into stitching something and I'm drawn to it for a reason. Usually a color, obviously, is a very common feature. And I look at it and I say, oh, I'd love to have that red pulled out or that blue pulled out, which didn't look right at all. So when the framer suggested brown, I'm like, I don't know. But really, there's a little bit, there's I don't know what you would say, the finish on it shows a little bit of blue that's very similar to the blues that you see in there. I'm really drawn to blues, greens, reds, all the colors. Not necessarily brown though, but this really came out just right. Just right. No complaints. So there's that, which I will stash away until next year, until next, we're decorating for Christmas at the end of this year. But this baby needs to stay out all the times. We already know that. Let Freedom Ring by Lila's Studio. It's almost like the big reveal, right? Oh, there's the window. Isn't it to die for? Holy cow. I use glass. I don't usually use glass, but I really felt like this one warranted it. And no matte. And we used a frame that was kind of a deep cherry-ish. Really pulled this. And a filler piece that added the elegance to it that I think it needed. It just turned out beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I don't know. So I stitched this on 36 count mellow. Picture this plus 1/2. Called for colors. I know 36 count is smaller than it was called for, so my stitches are smaller. I used one strand, so I'm only using half the thread. It called for, it called for multiple skeins of a variety of them. I had more than half of almost everything left, more than half. So had I been using 2/2, I would have used more than half the called for. Had I been stitching it on a 32 or 28, I still don't think I would have used all of that thread. So that was quite a bit. One of them was 4 skeins. It might have been what was this, Calico Kitty for the building. Freedom, I had lots of Freedom left, which was a blue, and a couple different greens. So I had plenty. I understand, though, if they're suggesting 4 skeins of something, you don't want to risk a dye lot mismatch. I don't really know what to tell you, except that I, honest to God, don't think I needed 4 skeins of Calico Kitty. Really, a lot of people, the look of this kind of piece, 1/2 on 32 count would be adequate. 2/2 on 32 count kind of gives you a little bit of bulk. 28 count, you'd need 2/2. So anyway, I'm not sure that was any kind of advice that helped for anything. If you're doing it 1/2 on 36 count, you don't need all that many skeins of the threads. Let's go with that. So isn't it lovely? I'm going to hang it in here in the office. I'm going to set it down. Sorry to say. I am debating where I'm going to put it. I thought I was going to put it. We're going to take a little tour, a wee little tour on this wall. There's the door. There's a window. At this wall, we have 2... What's in the chairs? Oh, there's a heap of a quilt in one of the chairs. There's 2 kind of like leather lazy boys and a nice mission style lamp. I really thought I'd put it on that wall, but see how the door is along that wall? Recessed back a little bit. So nobody ever would see that wall except once they're in the room and they maybe turn back towards the chairs. But from the other room, you might be able to glance in here and see this big expanse. That's my computer screen. My desktop computer screen. A big bare wall. Totally bare. It may well go on that wall, because then from the other room you could see it. When you walked in here, you could see it. It's almost kind of a shame not to have it out in the most common area, but for the reality of... Let me see if I can straighten you out again. The reality of our daily life, there's nobody in the house but me and my husband and the kids occasionally, who probably stop seeing the stuff, so it almost doesn't even matter. So tonight, possibly, it might have to wait a few days. My husband's traveling for a few days after today to get hung. We'll debate it. We'll hold it up. We'll think about it. I did have the glass put on it because I'm afraid if it goes in this room, and this whole wall that I face when I'm at my desk is window. Window, window, window. So, sunshine. It's liable to get some sunshine in its general direction. So those were two very exciting finishes. You know, for a long time I didn't have very many finishes. I had a long stretch where I was only doing heavy duty projects. So there we go. And now I'm on to my next level of heavy duty projects. I'm at almost a stopping point on the Spirit of Christmas 2. No. Spirit of Christmas 2 is the Santa Claus done on the dark blue. That's very slow. Very, very slow go. And what's the other one? The songs. I started on Christmas Day. The sampler, or the Quaker Christmas 2. It's funny. Those both have 2 in them. Those 2 pieces I'm working on. That I'm almost at a good stopping point. Page 1, page 2, eking down a little bit into page 3 and page 4 as the motifs need to sort of flow down. But then I will put that aside. And that's really it. I finished one of my word plays. Sorry, it's not here to show you. That would be progress, and that would be in another video. So anyway, like I said, it's kind of a grim Tuesday morning, but it was a decent drive into the city to my store and back. And now I have the rest of the afternoon free. My cookbook club meets tonight. Our recipe cookbook selection is breakfast for dinner. Isn't that fun? Everybody loves that. I'm making a smoothie, frozen smoothie. I have one of those big fancy frozen drink makers that, you know, we don't really use for much. So I'm going to make a breakfast smoothie. So that'll be fun. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a good week. It's all going well here, getting back into the swing of normal life after Christmas is over. And heading to Florida for a few weeks. And, you know, the usual, kind of just an average normal winter. So anyway, I've kept my video shorter than 15 minutes, so I won't even have to take my iPad out of the house to get it uploaded. Happy January. Bye.